I want to hit on a couple of things, and in a minute I'm going to ask some of our administrators and our board liaisons to talk some more about this. But I really want to hit on a couple of things, and I want to start with this. I believe it's important for us to remember that this is a multifaceted approach, and it really begins with each individual. And if we're taking the steps that have been recommended, as I've outlined here, that have come to us consistently, these are the things each of us as individuals can do to protect ourselves and protect the people around us. So we want to keep these in mind. They're not there frivolously. They have embedded scientific research that says these practices are significant in mitigating the transmission of COVID-19 between all people. And it begins with the face masks. We will have this evening a district policy, and we also have administrative guidelines reflecting where we are with face masks. This is, from all the research we read, the single most effective practice related to mitigating the spread of COVID-19 between individuals. So we will be acting this evening on a district policy that covers pre-K through 12 associated with administrative guidelines. In those policies and guidelines, as required by Governor DeWine, all staff are required to wear masks while at work. We will also provide facial shields for where that's more necessary for the work. As it relates to the students, it was highly recommended in grades 3 through 12. In grades K through 2, the recommendation wasn't as strong, but in our policy, recognizing the importance of masks, at this time, our policy is going to call for masks at all time, on buses, in schools, in classrooms, pre-K through 12. And we realize that that's going to present some challenges for some young people in terms of keeping those on. I understand that. But we're going to continue to educate and demonstrate and model for people. And we'll talk some more about supplies of those, et cetera. I'll ask Mr. Dorn to pipe in on that in just a little bit. So the mask part is critical. Second most critical part is the social distancing, the 6 feet or more. The research continues to show that if you have a mask on and you're standing more than 6 feet away, you significantly impact the probability that you're going to be infected by COVID-19. And that's part of the reason we're looking at a blended model under certain circumstances, because it is easier for us with 50% of the population to maintain that 6 feet while students have their masks on. That's the main reason for looking at a cohort model and a blended model. The third part is washing hands. We all know how important that is, whether or not it's soap and water in the bathroom or whether or not it's your whatever brand of hand sanitizer you're using. We know that's important. We also know that in schools, we were all in the habit of sharing materials, pencils, pens, notebooks, Chromebooks. So it'll be important for us to maintain classroom and building level procedures around how we share materials and providing resources for people so they can sanitize materials before they share them. And in a minute, I'll have probably Mr. Dorn and some others talk a little bit about what we've been doing behind the scenes to stockpile to help us in this. The next one is, if you listen to the health experts, 10-minute limits. If you're going to find yourself in a situation where the 6 foot is difficult to maintain, then keep that interaction to less than 10 minutes. Keep your mask on, keep it to less than 10 minutes. And as we talk to health department officials, keeping these practices in place are the things that are most helpful in mitigating the spread of COVID-19, and also are the first things the health department checks for whenever there's a report of a case and who might have been impacted. They'll look at these components. If they're in place, that reduces the number of people that are considered to be in contact. So as a school district, we want to put policies and procedures and operations in place to do this. And we want to ask those people who are coming to our school buildings this year to keep these things in mind as individual practices to move us along.